ladies and gentlemen, and esteemed judges, fellow debaters. I stand before you today vehemently oppose the existence and expansion of private prisons. Private prisons are not only morally reprehensible, but also deeply flawed in the design and operation. Allow me to present my arguments against private prisons, supported by evidence from reputable sources. Firstly, private prisons introduce profit motives into the criminal justice system, which inherently corrupts its objective. When companies profit from incarceration, they have a vested interest in increasing the number of people behind bars. This profit-driven model incentivizes lobbying for harsher sentencing laws and criminalization of nonviolent offenses. According to the American Civil Liberties Union, private prison companies spend millions of dollars each year lobbying for policies that lead to increased incarceration rates. This manipulation of the legislative process undermines the principles of justice and fairness, perpetuating a cycle of mass incarceration. Secondly, the pursuit of profit often leads to substandard conditions within private prisons, jeopardizing the safety and well-being of inmates. Research conducted by the Sentencing Project has shown that private prisons tend to have higher rates of violence, inadequate medical care, and understaffing compared to publicly operated facilities in their quest to minimize costs and maximize profits. Private prison companies frequently cut corners on essential services, resulting in dire consequences for those incarcerated. Reports of abuse, neglect, and human rights violations in private prisons are disturbingly common, highlighting the inherent risks associated with outsourcing incarceration to private-driven entities. Furthermore, private prisons exacerbate racial disparities within the criminal justice system. Studies have consistently shown that people of color are disproportionately represented in private prison, reflecting in broader systematic inequalities in law enforcement and sentencing. The Sentencing Project reports that African Americans are incarcerated in private prisons at a rate of 47% higher than their representation in the overall prison population. This overrepresentation of marginalized communities in private prisons perpetuates social injustice and undermines efforts to address systematic racism within the criminal justice system. Moreover, the lack of transparency and accountability in private prison poses a serious threat to democratic values and human rights. Unlike publicly operated facilities, private prisons are not subject to the same level of oversight and scrutiny. As a result, there is limited transparency regarding their operation, making it difficult to hold them accountable for their misconduct or violation of inmates' rights. The secretive nature of private prison undermines public trust and undermines efforts to promote accountability and reform within the criminal justice system. In conclusion, private prisons represent a morally bankrupt industry that prioritizes profit over people's lives and underestimate the fundamental principles of justice and fairness by perpetuating mass incarceration, perpetuating substandard conditions, exacerbating racial disparities, and invading accountability. Private prisons contribute to erosion of democratic values and human rights. It's imperative that we abolish private prisons and pursue alternative approaches to criminal justice that prioritize rehabilitation, fairness, and equality for all. Thank you.